Mortimer, can you believe we've moved into another season since we started shooting the show?
Yes. And you know what? It's so cold outside. The color of the grass has started turning brown. Do you know why?
You're going to tell me, aren't you?
I am. So, with less sunlight energy, your lawn produces less chlorophyll. Hence, there is less photosynthesizing going on, and your lawn stops growing and it starts losing color. Now, winter came early this year. Clearly, this is a sign of climate change.
Mortimer, I completely agree, but I can't help but wonder, how is this affecting our agricultural industry? Crops and livestock, for example, they would be subjected to increased temperature, increased CO2 levels, and changing water patterns due to rainfall changing and access to irrigation systems.
Yeah, and all these factors affect plant growth and yield and environmental conditions for livestock production. I think this is something that we need to explore a bit further in our future episodes.
Absolutely, and for those of you at home following us, join the discussion. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Dermesh, what is on our weather chart today?
Well, Mortimer, it is exciting. We have got a mystery guest.
Ooh.
Mystery guest, I can't tell you too much.
Okay.
I'm also finally going to beat you in the quiz.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm going to take you all on a recap to the wonderful Eastern Cape. Folks, it's quiz time, and today it's a revenge match. Now, Mortimer, I know you've had the better of me the last couple of episodes.
Every episode.
But that ends today.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Are you ready for
I am
an
ready.
eco-friendly quiz? Eco-friendly quiz.
Really?
Yeah. Here we go. These are all true or false, so no pressure. No pressure.
Go for it.
Number one. Eco-friendly habits assist with reducing toxic chemicals release and therefore aids in a healthier society.
True.
Let me repeat that again.
True.
Let me just repeat
Okay,
it.
repeat it. True.
Eco-friendly. Okay, it's true.
It is true.
Okay, I'll give you that. You get half a point because you answered before I was finished. Number 2. Using reusable items instead of disposable utensils saves money and contributes to saving our planet.
Repeat the question.
Oh,
please.
now you want me to repeat the question.
Yes, repeat the question.
Using reusable items instead of disposable utensils saves money and contributes to saving our planet.
True.
Are you sure?
Final answer, true.
I can say the question backwards if you want.
True.
And unfortunately, it's
is
true. So that's 2 out of 2.
Okay,
Need
see
to
your
start
maths
making
is
this
on point,
a little bit more difficult.
Here we go.
Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Saving energy is not an eco-friendly activity. True or false?
That's a bit of a tricky one, eh?
Saving energy is not an eco-friendly activity.
That one would be false.
Are you sure?
I am so sure.
How good is your English?
My gooder is better for English, yes. It is false.
That is 3 out of 3. I don't know how you do this. Are you cheating? Can you see the answers?
When you're good, you're good.
Right, the last question. And this is something I enjoy. Food. Beef and lamb have the biggest climate footprint per gram, while plant-based foods have the smallest effect.
Repeat the question.
Repeat. It all comes down to the last question.
Yeah, if you get one wrong, it's still
last
fine.
question.
Yeah.
Beef and lamb have the biggest climate footprint per gram, while plant-based foods have the smallest effect. Now, we're not talking about the footprint of the beef or the lamb or the cow.
Yeah,
I'm talking about footprint.
So I say that one is false.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let me just say false.
It's actually true.
Really? Did I get one wrong?
Don't act like that.
Did I get
don't
one
act
wrong?
like that.
Oh, shoot, I got one
So
wrong.
you got one right. One right.
His mathematics is terrible. Let's see how he does. Okay.
Okay,
Fine. So
I'm
that is
ready.
3 out of 4. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Here we go. So, true or false?
True. Okay. Well, let's wait for the question.
An example of an eco-friendly home is a wood-fired control heating system. True or false? An example of an eco-friendly home is a wood-fired control heating system.
When you say wood-fired, I think of pizza. But we're not talking about pizza now, are we? Repeat the question.
An example of an eco-friendly home is a wood-fired control heating system.
I'm going to say yes.
It's either true or false. Not yes or no.
Oh, yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true. Or is that your final answer?
Yes, it is true.
And you are correct. It is true.
1 out of 5 for
Perfect.
4.
Going green means eating only green veggies.
That is a difficult one because it's one of the aspects of going green. Repeat.
Going green means eating only green veggies. True or false?
Say that's false.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
You are correct. It is
That
false.
is 2 out of 2. It's coming down to the final hurdle.
Question number 3.
Number 3.
Buying second-hand clothing contributes positively to saving the planet. True or false?
Second-hand clothing.
Buying second-hand clothing contributes positively to saving the planet. True or false?
I'm going to say that's true. Because if you buy second-hand clothing, new clothes don't need to be made, which contributes to global warming. Yeah,
Global warming?
global warming.
Okay. All right. You are correct. It is true.
So
Yes.
I have got 3 out of 4.
3 out of 3 so far.
If I win this last one, I win everything. I win everything.
No, you don't win everything. You have lost so many times. I think.
Don't you
these
remember
questions
when we?
No, I don't want to remember.
When we were kids, and you'd say, "Last goal wins." Before your mom calls you at home to eat, last goal wins.
Where did you grow up? The Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape.
Wild Coast. Okay. Reducing use of paper contributes negatively to the planet.
Reducing.
use of paper contributes negatively to the planet. True or false? Reducing.
The language always gets
It's
me.
called English.
English.
Reducing use of paper contributes negatively to the planet.
I'm going to say that's false.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, that's 4 out
Why
of
would
4.
you say so? I didn't even say if it was correct.
I'm
Now
just
you're
going for 4 out
assuming.
of 4.
You are incorrect. The answer is
Say that
actually
again.
true.
Say that again.
It does contribute. I'm lying. He actually got 4 out of 4. Yes, give it up for
So,
Dharmesh.
I
Yes.
finally win around. What did you get?
Sure. I only got 1 wrong.
I
wrong.
win this round.
So you win this round, but I still win everything thus far, except for this one. And you see, that is what happens. Here on Weather Vibes, we only play fairly, and we give the little man a chance.
Little man, just wait till I take you on the next adventure. Then we will see.
I cannot wait.
Well, folks, that's been an interesting quiz, and we all know who the champion is.
Me. Only on Weather Vibes.
Weather Vibes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Weather Vibes. I'm your host, Dharmesh Daya, and today we have got a sports genius. Wow. Ahmed Busak. Am I saying that right?
That is 100% correct.
100% correct. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and don't leave anything out. Although, remember, this is a family show, eh?
Right, so I must skip the part where I tell you that I was born in the winelands. Is that still...
No, that's fine,
Is that
perfectly fine.
I was born in a little place called Simondium, where now all the famous winelands in Cape Town, they come from.
Mm-hmm.
I went to high school in Paarl. I went to Stellenbosch. And then that's when the sort of journalism bug bit me. I then worked for a newspaper. I went to go work for a national broadcaster, and I was lucky enough to travel around the world, see sport, meet people. I've been to fantastic stadiums. I've worked on some big things, And yeah, look, man, I'm still madly in love with the media and with sport.
Fantastic. Now, where you grew up, what was the weather like there growing up? What is your fondest memories?
Paarl is notorious for its Mediterranean weather. So it's like this basin, and my father always used to joke. He said, listen, the devil is from Uppington, but he has his honeymoon in Paarl. So it's usually in summer enormous, incredibly hot. 40, 42, can go to
Really?
42, 40, 44 degrees. But in winter, it's like Mediterranean. So it rains, it's soft, the rain. And like I said, it's ideal for for the wine that we have,
Okay.
today. So yeah, but it made me strong for when I go to other countries to go watch sport. You are used to and you're acclimatized to this enormous heat that gets you.
Okay, so we've obviously got different weather patterns there.
Right.
In your opinion, is that starting to change when you go back home?
It is, and you can see it.
Really, eh?
If you look at the recent India series against South Africa now, that was played at one-day series, it was played in Cape Town and in Paarl, degrees of 42. That is almost unheard of constantly, and it's still there. You can literally see, and when you think of it globally and internationally, you can see the rising temperatures, which affect sport all the time. If you look later this year when we have the World Cup in Qatar, it's going to be in December. They're talking about stadiums that have to be air conditioned because of the sweltering heat that European players will get there. But it's all about, television, money, TV rights, all those type of things. So, but I think the weather will play a massive part in how sport is being played, when it's being played, how it's being played.
Yep. So the climate and climate change is now really starting to affect sport and sporting events.
Absolutely. And you can see, I'm assuming that, I look at you and your name is Darmesh, and please, if I'm stereotyping
No, you got
please
it
stop
right.
me.
You got it right.
If you look at cricket, how important the toss is now and how it affects a team's decision about whether they're going to bat or not. And how, if it's too hot, how it affects the pitch conditions, when it's cracking, when spinners come into the game, and how quickly, the outcome of a game can be determined by the weather. If you look at Johannesburg, Centurion, the conditions in South Africa, or in England, for example, if it is moist, if there's moisture in the air, a lot of rain, the ball moves. You look like a bowler, so the ball moves around a lot.
I can't bowl to save my life, but that's a different discussion.
What
I do
is
bowl
it?
the ladies over that, but that's a different discussion.
So the ball moves around a lot in moisture, when there's a lot of cloud around, and when there's, as the West Indies call it, juice in the wicket due to the rain, lots of juice in the wicket. The ball moves. I think, honestly, that we really honestly have to think about international sport, and really you can't do international sport now without thinking about the weather.
Quite interesting. Now, you obviously cover all sorts of sports. What is your favorite and why?
I've always been a big football fan. I love rugby.
Sports binds us, doesn't it?
It does. And I think just to come back to what you said about the weather, ironically, one of the first trips I ever did was I went to the African Cup of Nations in Ghana. And I've never set my foot on a plane. I've never been to another country. And when I got out of the plane the first time in Accra, it was like a wall of heat that hit me, because it's the first time I was near the equator and I wasn't aware of the humidity that you would find in a city like Accra. The humidity was intense. I couldn't believe footballers could actually play in that type of heat, and the good thing was I lost lots of kilograms from burning the fat off in that humidity.
So, here's a good question for you. Favorite local destination? You obviously travel all over South Africa, but what is your favorite local destination?
As somebody that comes from the Western Cape and Cape Town, I would be inclined, and I think people would expect me to say, Cape Town. But you know what? I've been in Johannesburg for 24 years. I love Johannesburg and its surrounds. I probably have to say my second favorite place is in Mpumalanga.
Really?
Because of how, the sort of the wildlife, the weather, the wonderful nature and scenery that's there. And it's just a drop away from Johannesburg, where it's vibrant. And of course, we're going to go back to sport now. We've got the Wanderers here in Johannesburg. We've got Ellis Park in Johannesburg. We've got all these wonderful stadiums just around, and you can just hop on your car an hour and a half away, you're in Mpumalanga.
Absolutely. I love that idea. You're going from the concrete jungle to the actual jungle.
Absolutely.
And now with all of this traveling, and you do get some free time, what's your favorite meal? What's your favorite food?
Oh goodness, man! My wife's watching. I'm not supposed to say this in front of everybody. But I'm trying to slim down. So when I do, I'm supposed to have a cheat meal. I do love pizza. I've developed this enormous appetite for anything that's got cheese on it.
Really, hey?
Or
Cheese.
anything that's got cheese on it. So I've got a weakness for cheese. And I've got a. It's a family show. Eh?
Yeah, it's a family show with a capital F.
Okay, so I'm allowed to talk about alcohol, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I do appreciate a good single malt whiskey.
Fantastic. I'm sure everybody watching this now is actually feeling hungry or want something to drink. Favorite season of the year? And I'm not talking about football season or cricket season. I'm talking about weather season.
Weather season. My favorite weather season has to be autumn. We've got this lovely tree at my house that actually turns into this wonderful brown red color. And when that tree starts to color, it is the most beautiful thing. And you know, when it sheds its leaves, it's on the floor there. It is such a wonderful sight. I love autumn. Actually, autumn and going into winter, you know, I love it. Especially Johannesburg's winters. They're brilliant.
It's amazing how the different season can actually affect one's personality as well.
Yeah, and also the thing about winter is, you know, we get to watch rugby during winter, you know. So, but I love winter. I find summer sometimes too hot. It affects me. I'm sometimes like my English bulldog that I have at home there. He cannot handle the heat. He sleeps in the heat, but like me. And it operates in the winter because he can deal with what's out there. I like winter. I think it energizes me.
Great. So you're a winter man. Final question, not to put you on the spot, but all of these places that you love to visit, are you driving or are you flying?
Look, I come from a family of people that used to drive around the country. I love to travel, so obviously I've got to fly. But I'm conscious of all this flying and what it means for the planet and how it changes.
That is so true, eh?
So, if it pleases you, I've managed to cycle a bit these days as well. You know, I have a bike with my daughter and we cycle a bit, you know, so that you're conscious of what you're doing to the planet. But to be honest, I'm a drive person.
The drive person. You like the journey.
I like the journey, you know, put some music on, you know, make a stop at the garage, full up, you know, take out that little, as they say in Afrikaans, padkos that you have, you know, so yeah.
Excellent. Well, your journey certainly seems to be on the up and up. It's been an absolute pleasure. I don't know after this interview if I want to go and eat, or if I want to go watch rugby, or if I want to go to the Western Cape. Really has been a pleasure. And we're going to see you and take it further and further.
Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, what a great interview. I don't know if I want to go play some sport, if I want to have a pizza, if I want to have a drink, but just remember, the weather and sports all interlinked. But no matter what you do, go out there and experience it for yourself. Catch us after the break. What an amazing experience. I'm standing here at the terrace in Nahoon, East London, my hometown, but the adventure started 8 days ago at a beautiful nature reserve called Umkambati. The vulture colony is something you need to see at least once in your life. To see vultures all over you, 30, 40 of them swooping lower and lower. You're worried, are they coming for me? Or is this just part of their daily routine? It's a sight you need to see at least once in your life. Dwesa. Now, I remember driving into the game reserve and it was raining, but that's the nature of the wild coast. The guide was so passionate you felt part of the story. And I remember driving and we were told to stop. The view, the mountains, the river, the flowers, Signal Hill, it definitely was an eye-opener. Port St. John's, what a beautiful seaside little town. I recall sitting at the spotted grunter with this river running on the side and these two beautiful mountains on each side. I just sat back and thought to myself, wow, this is a place I could actually spend a weekend. Coffee Bay. What a beautiful seaside little town. And about 10 minutes from there is the hole in the wall. I remember standing there on the cliff thinking my cameraman's going to get blown off. But to see those waves crashing through that wall, I tell you, it's something that every South African needs to see at least once in their life. Then we made our way down back to the little town. Now, I'm not a fan of pizza, but I tell you, this one was good. The secret sauce, it really knocked it out of the park. And we ended off with sushi, my favorite. I tell you, I could have sat there the whole day. It was so fresh, it must have come from the ocean just at your feet. Treneries. Now, after 3 or 4 days of rainy weather in the Wild Coast, we finally got a break. Blue skies. And I remember getting to Treneries and seeing the pool, and I thought, man, we have got to jump into this. But first we had to look at the rooms. Now, I felt I could actually stay in the room the whole day, but the problem is there's just so much to do on the other side. In the evening, we had a bonfire. And I tell you what, when this young boy threw the gas on the fire, it just went up in a poof. And my director kept on telling me, stand closer, stand closer. But eventually, we got the shot. Then we were treated to a young gentleman doing a fire dance. And I kept on thinking to myself, if this chap catches a light, what happens? Luckily, he was at the pool. Dinner was great. And the next day was the highlight, Trevor's Trails. And I've been bragging to everybody how I'm going to jump off this 12-meter cliff. But when the time came, I just couldn't do it. I'll be honest, I was scared. So maybe I'm not the adventure man, but I am the Eastern Cape man. However, and this is the big thing for me, I did redeem myself. On the way back, you can, if you want, swim across the Khai mouth, which I did. The rest of the team all took the barge. But I felt good getting out of the water, minus one shoe. I really do think Treneries is a great place, and you don't need to swim there like I did. You can take the barge. Hogsback. Now this is my place, folks. For the last 8 days, we've been going up and down the Wild Coast, but I was so excited to get to Hogsback and share with you my experiences there. I go there every weekend. Hogs 1, Hogs 2, Hogs 3. We were waiting for the sunrise, but alas, it didn't come. Mist, fog, rain. But you know what? That's the beauty of Hogsback. No matter what the weather, you're going to have a good time. The hiking, the mountains, just the feeling, you can soak it up. We went to Away with the Fairies, Stewart's famous pizza. You know, sitting there, having the pizza, the handmade fries, the fire going, the dogs running around. It really is a magical place. And finally, the famous chocolate shop. Where are you going to find a chocolate shop in the middle of a rural village? It's amazing what we have in our own backyard. The adventure, the weather, the climate, it's all part of the experience. Come and experience what we have to offer. Hashtag visit Eastern Cape. So we come to the close of this season's episodes. Excuse the pun. But we will be back, so follow us online in the meanwhile. Next season, we visit another province, so stay close. But remember, hashtag visit Eastern Cape.
Thank you for being so amazing. Your participation online has assisted in giving our future seasons direction. We appreciate and encourage all your comments. So from myself, Mortimer Williams.
And I, Dharmesh Dyer.
Until next time, this is Weather Vibes.